All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this webinar. We're still expecting a few more to join. We have 16, I guess. As it rolls on, we'll have a few more. In the next minute or two, we would begin the process. And those who have joined us, on behalf of WACOMP, the West Africa Competitiveness Program, we welcome all of you to today's webinar. We're discussing the CAP, that's the Coronavirus Alleviation Program, which our distinguished institution, NBSSI, is leading the process, and we have one of the participating financial institutions, Universal Merchant Bank, UNB, also joining us to explain the process to us. We have Kwame Achekum, who is also working with WACOMP in charge of our financial issues, also joining us in today's webinar. We give a minute more just to allow a few more people to hop in, and then we go. So those who've joined us, I guess you've joined us to also get to know more about the CAP process, to know how to get in to register, to know how to access the funds, and then you want to learn more about that. Whilst we wait to start, let me welcome you all once again. And this is WACOMP, the West Africa Competitiveness Program. WACOMP is funded by the European Union, and it's implemented in Ghana by UNIDO. Our main focus is to support the competitiveness of the Ghanaian economy through value addition, and then through quality processes. And we're looking at three main value chains. We're looking at cosmetics and personal care products. We're also working on cassava and derivatives. And they're also working on fruits, mango and pineapple, anything processing. So juice, jam, whatever. We're organizing this webinar because of the pandemic that has brought us this alleviation fund, and the pandemic that has also prevented us from meeting face to face. So we're taking advantage of technology to reach out to as many people as possible with our colleagues too, so that with other partner institutions. So we tell people what this whole fund is about. So this morning, we have with us two distinguished ladies. And I think by having two lady panelists today, we are also working to achieve the SDG 5, which is gender equality, promoting women issues. So I'm very happy to be hosting Charlotte and then Kosi. It's an honor to have these two distinguished ladies with us. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. So we have—
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yes, welcome so much. And we have with us Madam Kosi Yankee. She's the Executive Director of NBSSI. She'll start the discussion with us. She'll take us through the support that the purpose of the stimulus package, what NBSSI is doing to support SMEs to register, support that NBSSI is providing to the SMEs. When she's done, we'll have a question and answer session. Right after that, we'll have our dear sister Charlotte from UNB. You see her in a nice cloth, UNB cloth. So she should also take us through the application process, due diligence, how to prepare documents, the duration of disbursement, repayment period, and any other thing that you have. And then we'll have a Q&A session, and most likely we'll bring in this session to an end. Without much ado, I would also inform participants that today, at a point, we would have brief summaries in three by both Kosi and Charlotte, because we had a special request from some of our participants that they would want a brief summary so that they can also follow the discussions. So without much ado, I hand over to Charlotte, to Kosi to start. The rest of us can go off camera, and then we leave the floor, the attention for Kosi, and then when she's done, we'll be back. Thank you very much. You have the floor, please.
Thank you very much, Charles, for this wonderful introduction and part of this program.
We lost you a bit.
Yes, I think that I don't know what happened immediately to the. Can you see me? Please
Yes, we
tell.
can see you.
Can you see me now?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
I apologize. I don't know what is wrong with either my internet or my computer today. But so I was going to share a presentation, but in view of all that is happening now, I think it will be best for me to just run us through what we have and what we intend to do.
Yes.
But I just want to say that fortunately for us in Ghana here, we have the Coronavirus Alleviation Program Business Support Scheme. And that is what we want to share with you today, which is being implemented by the National Board for Small Scale Industries. If we would all recall, on the 27th of March, the president announced that due to the pandemic, some businesses and some sectors had been hardly hit, and which was leading to job losses and affecting the livelihoods of many of our MSMEs in Ghana, which are no different for some of the businesses that are being supported under the UNIDO WACOMP program. And so there was a call to action and a direction by the president to commit 600 million Ghana cedis that would be used to support these MSMEs. And most invariably, these MSMEs, which are about 80% of the Ghanaian economy, also is made up of 40% of MSMEs that are women-owned and women-led. And it was important and imperative for us to look at them and see how we can provide financial and technical support, which is what this CAP BUS, the CAP Business Support Scheme, intends to do. We looked at it from the lens of the NBSSI categorization, as well as the Ghanaian definition of what Ghana Statistical Service had also done in survey, and realized that across the nation, about 80% of the Ghanaian population was in the micro sector. About 18.5% of them were small businesses, and then 1.5% of the businesses or enterprises were medium enterprises. So taking all of that into consideration, we decided to develop a project that would target the following beneficiaries, which were existing enterprises nationwide who had verifiable evidence of business activities that had been gravely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Then we looked at the second subset of the target beneficiaries, who were businesses that had products or were designing services and systems to support the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. So when you look at that, it's people who are making the mask, those who are making PPEs or hand sanitizers and all other support programs that would affect that would support the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Then we looked at a few sector focuses and realized that who are the sectors that we think should benefit from it. And on top of that, yes, one of the major ones is the agri and agro-food business processing sectors, which we thought had been hit. We also looked at manufacturing, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, water and sanitation, the tourism and hospitality sector, textiles and garments, and really a strong focus on also commerce and trade that had been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Because even though the lockdown was in Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi, you realize that the inflows of people moving their goods or their wares, be it shea butter, be it fruits, be it whatever it was that they were bringing into those cities, because of the blockades, they could not come in. And even more now, because of the export markets being shut down, they had also been impacted. Then taking into consideration the solutions that we came up, the purpose of the stimulus was really to provide relief. So for us, we're looking at it from the lens of an emergency relief fund, because you needed to figure out how best it was to sustain the existing businesses and make them not fall or go bankrupt or lose what they had, but sustain them through this really tough emergency time. And in looking at that, we were also looking at what the constraints they have had over time. So the working capital challenges that have now become imminent, the short-term challenges to cash flow, the MFIs and savings and loans challenges, and really the high cost of capital, which they could not afford at a time like this when there was an emergency and there was a need for relief for them to be able to grow their businesses, to support and sustain their businesses. So the proposed solution for that was the stimulus package, which we are sharing and discussing now, where government committed 600 million Ghana cedis to support it, and proposed matching funds came from the PFI to the tune of up to 400 million Ghana cedis. Then we also looked at what kind of solution would we provide at a time like this. One was the technical support for the MSMEs, because you also needed to consider that besides financial, there was a need to have a whole look at what they've been able to do, how to turn around businesses that had really been slammed due to the challenges that we were all facing. How do we look at digitization and also formalizing the MSMEs that had not been formalized? Because one thing we also realized in all of this towards the beneficiaries of the purpose of the stimulus was that the way we were doing business had changed. Digitization is really a huge part of what we will be doing from now going forward. Be it those who are exporting, those who are selling locally, production, B2B meetings, everything was happening digitally. And even now, as we're talking, we're having conversations via this. In normal circumstances, we would have met somewhere. And so how do we use this as a way to segue most of the businesses we've worked with over the years, those who will also come in asking for these solutions, to benefit from the fund? So we looked at developing two products. One was the Nidasua loans, which was really looking at those who are not the micro businesses, but looking at the higher ends of the micro businesses, small and medium enterprises. Then we have the Adom loans that also looked at variously the businesses that were extremely micro, who also needed some relief and were coming to us to ask for some kind of support. So the selection criteria that we put in place and what we intended to look at was, how do we look at the sector that is made up of 70% MSMEs, but within that same sector, there's also an informal economy, which is also close to 70 to 80% of that formal sector. And in looking at that, we then decided that for someone to be eligible, you needed to fall one within the classification of a micro, small, or medium enterprise. And that could be businesses in our definition with employees within the range of 1 to 5 for the micro businesses, 6 to 29 for those in the small businesses, and 30 to 99 for those in the medium enterprises. And then considering that within that, there's also the turnover, but we needed to cut off the turnover at some point so that we'll be able to really target and hone those people we've been working with. So looking at an annual turnover, the maximum we're going to go for the medium was 5 million Ghana cedis. The most important thing was for the business to be located in Ghana, that they should have been running for at least 6 months from March 2020 when the COVID pandemic really was at its peak. The businesses should be registered with Registrar General, some also register with the district assemblies when we're looking at the micro and the informal sector. The need for the TIN number, but also in a way where we would work with them to get the TIN number so it doesn't exclude you, because we're looking at a strong informal sector that needed some form of support from us. And so as much as possible, we're going to provide that support. And as we mentioned, for you to be eligible, you should show that you had been adversely impacted by COVID-19 pandemic, or you were producing goods or services that will support the fight against the COVID, and then be a member of an association, a trade group, or register with NBSSI was very important for us to be able to support it. So in our design of the program and the support we were providing, we looked at it that between all the various classifications, be it micro to the medium enterprises, we were looking at an interest rate of 3%, considering that it was an emergency and needed to be a relief. When we are also not sure when this pandemic would come to an end, we looked at a moratorium of up to 1 year. So in the application process, giving people the opportunity to be able to select if they can start paying in 6 months, in 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, 12 months, but up to 12 months as a cutoff, to give them some leeway to organize themselves and put their house in order. And a repayment period after that between 2 to 3 years that will support the work that they were doing. And ensuring that we have a processing time of up to 2 weeks after the final applications were received. So we'll be able to move forward and support them. Most importantly was also what the funds could be used for. And so we looked at what was the target purpose for this soft loan or concessionary loans that we had designed. was how best it was to keep the lights on for these businesses. The president had come out and said water and electricity was being taken care of by government, which was a very good welcome for some of the businesses. But then besides that, he actually adding on this fund so that we can look at how do you procure raw materials which you need immediately for immediate use to support your business operations. General operational and administrative expenses, maybe such as rent and salaries, could be factored in this. And if there was any need for any support that would help retain human resource, because at the bottom of it all was how do we retain the human resource that is most important to us. And also, how do we strengthen the associations that our businesses fall under so they can continue to provide technical assistance and even for us to provide support for regulatory compliance for some of the business. So over time, this is what this project has been, the CAP Business Support Scheme, looking at how best we can support the MSMEs within Ghana, not only financially, but providing support through technical assistance support, providing them with access to regulatory support at a time like this through our partnership with the regulatory bodies, and ensuring that we put in place systems that will look at growing their businesses, that will prepare them that after this all is said and done, they would be able to take advantage of the AFTAG and be able to grow their businesses and to be able to sustain their businesses going forward. So in a nutshell, that is what we've been working on. We've made it as available as possible to as many people, as accessible as possible, be it accessible within their communities, within their various associations, so that people can access it. And so we have the online service. You can start the process through the USSD systems. You can, if you're an association or part of an association or a group or part of a program, we even had paper applications for the communities where they could not access or go through the same process as all of us, so they can also benefit from it as much as possible. The selection was done in such a way, the selections will be done in such a way that if you apply and you go through the process, for those who apply for very micro amounts, those funds would be disbursed through the through participating telcos. And then for those who are asking for larger sums, the work will be done with the participating financial institutions who will do the assessment of the funds and then will pay to the beneficiaries from that angle. So I want to thank you for allowing me to share a bit of this. If there's, Charles, you think there's anything else that you would want me to talk and share more or give more details on, I would gladly and would love to give more information out there.
Thank you very much, Kosi, for such a comprehensive presentation. I mean, you spoke to it so well. I'm very impressed. One thing that people have been asking, maybe one of the first things is, you talked about the Inidaso loan and the Adum loan. And so for the members, that's one of the things that we want to also understand. But the first thing that also comes up is that somebody wants to know what.
The line was bad. I didn't get it. Should were you asking the questions in the chats?
Bob? No, so the questions are in the Q&A.
Okay, the Q&A. Okay.
Yes.
So the first question: has there been a research to assess the impacts of COVID on the various SMEs? So yes. Before we did this, we did an assessment, and so we sent out a survey to most MSMEs, and about 1,000+ MSMEs responded with what the impacts had been on their businesses and the various needs that they had. And so we took all of that into consideration before we designed and operationalized this fund. The second question about the pineapple farmer, as much as possible, what we tend to do is to ask people to ask for what their real needs are. One thing that we are not doing is expansion. So if you're asking for funding and you say, I need to expand my pineapple farm, this is not a time for us to support expansion. What these funds are looking at is we have an emergency. So the emergency relief, how do we quickly ensure that the businesses are sustained and are not collapsing or falling or letting go of human resource? It's not necessarily to say that I'm expanding. So we have people who say, I have a school, I want to build 2 extra classrooms. This is not the time to build 2 extra classrooms.
All right.
You know, so we need to consider that in the conversations we have, but you can assess it. But it's important for you to realize that you need to think about what is the real need? How much would you really need to support your business? And then we will consider it as well.
Thank you.
The other question is that people are of the view that because of the political season, it is an avenue to distribute the funds to party people. What is the assurance that this is strictly not politically motivated? I would have answered this question in a different way if coronavirus was not real. The truth is that it is real and it has no political colors. So it is not as if there's no challenge, and hence there would be, that is why we're going the way we are. There's a challenge, and that's why we also have a technology platform. So if you believe you want to apply, go ahead and apply for it. And I think it's important for people to realize that this is not the first time NBSSI is doing this work. But it's funny how anytime we do it, nobody talks about politics. But now that there's a lot of money and around now, you talk about politics. So let's consider that and let's be considerate. And sometimes it makes me wonder if people are thinking because if they were in the position, they would do that. You know, but as much as possible, we don't need to put our fears and our what we might do on other people. I think it's important to note that that's why we brought technology on, for technology to play a big role in determining who's applying and how you apply.
So the repayments, somebody wants to know about the repayments.
Yes, with the repayments, we're working very closely with the banks. UMB is online, they'll be one of our participating financial institutions, and people would apply, they would do the assessment, and based on those assessments, they would also do the follow-up on repayments. We'll also continue with monitoring and engagement. Those who are part of associations, the associations would also be doing engagements on monitoring as well to ensure that they sit well with them.
There's one question. Somebody's asking that if he or she applies, and then maybe for one reason or the other, he doesn't get, maybe he applied with the wrong reason, can he or she reapply again?
Too late. I think that we shouldn't have applied with the wrong reason. I think that our system was set up to really cut down on fraud, which meant one, using the same bank account or TIN numbers more than once. So if you use your TIN number once, you can't use it again. Also to avoid people using the same bank details or Momo details for a lot of people. Once you do that, automatically you're blocked out of the system. And it affects everybody who you've applied for, who you've given all the same bank details to. So it's really difficult. But what you can do is you can always petition. Because the same issue of transparency that somebody raised at the top, we factor that in the process. So the best way to do this is to go online and petition and say you made a mistake, mention what mistake is, and then it would come before the grievance committee, which meets almost every evening, and then they would address it for you.
And there's one more question. Somebody's asking that we talked of registered associations, and if someone is registered with GEPA, does that qualify as an association?
I think that GEPA has recommended people as well that not recommended, but they've also said that we don't have an association, but we have people who register with us, and so can qualify. And yes, they can, I mean, it's a government agency that also has private sector beneficiaries who have been impacted. They have been gravely impacted by the COVID-19. So they are open for support.
Okay. So somebody wants to specifically, I think this is yes, I mean, it's hand sanitizer production process, whether they would also qualify. I think it's already a yes from what you said already. There's a question here. handicrafts into export business, and what quantum of funds can they access?
So yes, they can, but they should see what their real needs are at the moment and apply for that.
Okay. All right, so I think the questions are coming, but basically the other questions that I think it would directly go to Charlotte to answer, since issues of the bank is also coming. Somebody wants to know the deadline that she is into catering, ASEM catering services. What is the deadline for application?
The 20th of June is the deadline for application. And so as much as possible, they should get the application in before that.
There's a question about startups. Do they qualify?
As we mentioned, you should have been in existence 6 months before March when the COVID started. So it depends on your classification of what a startup is.
I think, please go ahead.
Sorry, I see one question and I just wanted to see if it's possible for me to answer it because it's important for others to know.
All right.
And it's by an anonymous attendee who says, if one goes through the first stage successfully, and then the second stage, which is the application side, it refuses to pick up, and this process is being done by my district MBSSI officer, how can MBSSI help this situation? I think the challenge with this is that some people registered the first side and put the wrong information.
Okay.
And so when you go to the next stage, maybe you made a mistake by, if your phone number is 0211, you dial 0212 in the first side, that is what the system captures. So when you go to the second stage to fill the second step of the application, and you put in your right phone number, which is 0211, because you did 0212 at the registration, it's been captured as that number. So the system sees it as a fraudulent process, or someone who might be using the wrong information, which is what happens anytime you use a wrong password or something. So as much as possible, I'll urge people to try as much as possible to pay attention to the numbers they are using. And we are seeing a trend with those who use the phone registration because the USSD times out and you have to work quickly. So in doing it quickly, people put in the wrong numbers. So if you feel that you can't do it quickly, just go to the website, which is www.nbssi.gov/cap support. I'll repeat it again, www.nbssi.gov.gh/cap support. And then once you put it, once you start working, it's easier for you to put in the right information because you're not in a rush to complete it.
All right. Maybe then we take this other question, which also sounds interesting. I guess a lot will be having the same challenge. It says he's a member of an association, including NBSSI, but during the application, the system did not pick the names of the association. What becomes of such an application?
So the associations are important. You'll be surprised. I mean, in Kumasi alone, there are about 500 plus associations. In order not to overload the system, we just put a few of them. It doesn't mean those ones are the best associations or not. It's just that that's what we put on there. So I would advise you that you go online and there's this component that says other. So you can still click on other and put your one there. But if your association isn't there, it's just because there's so many of them, and so we just limited it, that's all.
Okay. Kosi, I give you my last question.
Sure.
Somebody saying that he or she is based in Abeka Flat Top, and they have a lot of women businesses in the area. How feasible is it to organize these women to access this CAP support and monitor them?
So good point. As in most invariable, I realize that a lot of the women within these market spaces or shop spaces belong to an association, one association or the other. So there's always a way to organize them. You can speak to our office. We have an officer who deals directly with associations so that they'll be able to see how best they can provide them with the needed support in terms of if they need to access online, or they can just go online and apply. I mean, the application is online. But if the people don't have access to technology or online, then we can provide some form of paper to the association.
Right.
In terms of ID, somebody is asking that he used a Ghana card and wasn't accepted. Which other ID can they use?
Oh, there are other IDs. So if you try it and it doesn't go through, you can try the SNET. If it doesn't go through, you can use your voter's ID. If that, you can also use your passport if you have one and go.
The last question. This is my last of last. How soon are we getting the money?
Rest assured. I mean, the process has started, so the applications are coming in, and we are hoping that we'll start some disbursements soon, very soon. Trust me on that.
I trust you on that. In 2 minutes, if you can, as we say in 3, wait me up on the tougher am I? All that you said. Our people to understand have requested for that, so that's a special request today.
To speak in 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Not very lengthy, but just to summarize. They need also the Adom loan. There was a year and I was Sikano, any politics, and Bibika Krebi, na fine way.
Okay. Inti the America chair or more muti no motion and soon as say. A Jumana ye and we yamamo na abuam. Na shishaye na ye dia to hono. Mampeni ba out no be kasa 27th March. The ye say ye send the Ghana ejumafo ne tie na micro, small and medium enterprises. The no na eye kese pa informal sector and so. Inti ye products menu adom any anidaso. Na eno ne se beboa we dwuma no se sei no ye hwe send ye beboa we dwuma bia wo tua obi ka ye bia opese okoto raw materials and na wo kofa bayaba e bia na wo ye a shop bi na ye lockdown wo dwetre no we di sika ni na nti mboa ba na ye betumi di ama wo betumi access na wan so apply wo apply ya no aka hia asem na wa kire ahia wo behia na ya hwe send ye betumi je sa sika no amount so wo qualify near the amount of the age. Now, Sassicano and no interest that's so. They said the Debeka Sicano amount, 3%, Unia will be beer. But Omampia here who says Sassican in a bit to me the ama a bebois, because as some not to him, into sending a bit me a dear boamo. Now, moratorium or Boniface be moratorium. And on the time I would be ye Jumana wuntia into 1 year up to 1 year, the Osha ever bow. Ma 1 up to 1 year. After 1 year, no, not 3% na beda sika no so. Now we are starting etua ne nkakra between 2 afimi no ne miensa na we tua sika ni na evi. Mboa bia obehia bi o maka ho ebi mo ho enye sika nko a ebi wo ho nso animde ye ka ho. Ntini edi nimde ne kakra aka sika no ho ne de aboa wo na we dwuma no nso akonanim na bibia ye. Na bibia ye ne se ebeboa ama edwuma no ejine ye. Because asem na atu ye na ni ye send ye betumi aye a ebeboa mo ma ejina ye. Na enkwan bebre wo so a obetumi dey apply. So opia bia obekọ online. Technology ne dey hu hia. Because obi beka say na be den minim obi a me den technology no na e dey beba. Na akye nipa a omo apply ni dey ohia ni nsem a odi beto ho a ebeboa. So betumi akọ online eno ye www.nbssi.gov.gh/cap support and also so we betumi use USD code now I shall say star 718 star 555 hash na who here so who say registration process na application process na 2 steps. First step na registration we are new here we benya code bi na code no so be ma baby a obekọ online apply now our second step no apply here. Now we share now to me and call 9 and so we me a friend it was 0302 747777 near Boa more affiliate and I bet show baby a business advisory centers no war it will maintain the brain it will Ghana has say you will bear 178 now it's me alcohol and now can call be one who so bet me a friend near Boa near Mamun Crata and I'm bit me a troll so yet I must be brave.
Yeah, that's a bit brave. And Sana, you bet you cry. No question back when he said, "Equal no bet to me. I requested for Sikano as a group, and can we have collective association question for the funds instead of individuals of the association applying?"
Yeah, Trina, we thought about it, right? But one of the main concerns was you don't want a situation where Ghanaians will come back and say, "I never got it. I was part of this association, I never got the money back." And Charles, that's what come up. And I don't want to have to deal with the headache. Right. So I think it's important that, yes, the importance of being part of an association is key. But you also have to register as a person because you will need those funds and you will have to pay back. It's not free money. So you will pay back. And so to be able to pay back, you need to come as an individual, guaranteed or backed by your association. That is key.
Thank you so much, Executive Director of NBSSI. It's been wonderful having you over the past minutes, explaining the processes and the rationale behind business. Like Madam and where you find your business for him, thank you so much, Madam. And I know she's a busy woman. She took time off. She has other schedule, so she will leave us. And then we'll continue to take us through the application process. As Madam have explained, after the registration process, things now go back to the banks for the banks to support. So we have Charlotte Bedu, the director of SME from Universal Merchant Bank, to take us through the processes. So Charlotte, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, Charles. Good morning.
And good morning again.
Good morning to your participants. We're excited to be here. Thank you for inviting UMB into this. I don't know, since Kosi has eventually said everything about the stimulus package, I don't even know where to start, but well, I will start with UMB. UMB is one of the indigenous banks in Ghana. It has been supporting businesses as well as SME past 48 years. And I hope I'm on.
You're on, please. We'll be sharing the screen soon.
Okay. We've been supporting businesses for the past 48 years. One of the strategic pillars of UMB is to support SME. UMB is one of the banks that has a digitized and the best banking app in Ghana, which is called the UMB Speed App. We have 36 branches across Ghana. And then we have 3 SME centers, 1 incubator center, and also even have an elite center that support big women and men like yourselves. So if you are a very big someone like yourselves, you have to be part of our personal elite club. And we have even meeting rooms that you can come and use at our airport branch. You can go to also Laboni branch to go and use our meeting rooms, all free of charge if you are part of our elite group. So be part of it. We also, we are one of the banks that normally partner government in most of the government program. We are part of the government flagship program, that is the 1D1F. We've disbursed more than 150 million to people. And then, so when the stimulus package 2 was announced, we are privileged to be part of the participatory banks. The fund is to be administered by the NBSSI, like Kosi mentioned, and I will probably talk more on our matching funds. Government gave 600 million, and then the banks are supposed to also add their own money, 400 million, to the 600 million. So we administer the two in 2 folds. We will have the 600 and then we'll have the 400. The 600 has interest rate of 3%, but the 400 has its own interest rate of 12.5% now. The repayment period is from day 1 till 3 years. You have also up to 1 year moratorium, as Kosi mentioned, and then the Matching fund, like I said, the interest rate on the matching fund is 12.5%. That's what we've agreed with the NBSSI group that all of us will charge. Normally, per the definition of NBSSI, if you are MSME, you should have employed a minimum of at least from 1 to 5, and then 6 to 29, and 30 to 99. If you've employed more than 100 people, then you don't belong to this fund. You need to probably be part of the Association of Ghana Industry. I think government is doing something for them as well. So this fund specifically is dealing with people who have employed not more than 100 people. So from 1 to 99. You should have an annual turnover, like Kosi said, is $1 million, but in Ghana terms, they are using 5 million. And your company must be in existence for the past 6 months, meaning that you should have been there from September or so. So you should have registered the company and been operating since September or October last year. So it's not that just right now you had the fund, you've gone to open a company and you want to be part. It's not possible. You should have been a registered association member or belong to NBSSI. You must have a TIN number as well. And I think Kosi also mentioned the industries that they want to support. That is the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, manufacturing, agric and agribusiness, water and sanitation, tourism and hospitality, education, that is the private schools, textiles, garment, commerce, trade and services. We have the CAP. You're supposed to use the money to procure raw materials or for immediate use, general operational and administrative expenses, that is the rent, salaries, utilization. Scaling up is not part. So like Kosi said, if you want to expand, this fund is not for expansion. It is for you to help you alleviate some of your burdens. Any other need of the MSME that positively impact the business and retain human resource. We do not want you to lay people off, so we want this fund to be able to help you. You need to pick an application form from NBSSI, or you can also go online. If you cannot read and write, I think you can pick an application form as well. There's a manual way and there's an electronic way. The electronic one is what Kosi mentioned, but you can equally pick an application form from any of the NBSSI centers. They have about more than 160 branches across Ghana. You can go online and you will see the branches where NBSSI is. Also, from Monday, you can also pick a form from UMB 3 centers. We are going to use our SME centers. We have one in Kumasi, one in Kaswa, one in Medina. So you can pick forms from any of the centers, or we can arrange to send you the forms to any of our branches you can pick. You can come to the head office and equally come and pick a form. We are picking the hard copy forms from NBSSI so that you can equally pick and then fill if you cannot go into the system to fill. But I think they will be very happy if you can go into the system and do the electronic application. Qualified applications will be forwarded to the NBSSI preferred bank for processing. So we are one of the banks. So when you are filling, you can choose us as your preferred bank. We'll also do an enhanced due diligence on the application. And then all these things we'll do within 2 weeks, and then we will disperse the loan. So that's all about the CAP fund. But let me talk a bit about the benefit to SMEs. This fund is less expensive, so it is good for you. It will support your business. It will help you to cushion up after the pandemic. Free technical support from the NBSSI and us, UMB, will create, you also get a good credit referencing. If when you take the money you pay back, you get very good referencing, then opportunity to access other funds that NBSSI will roll out. And then business survival, it will help your business to survive, and also retention of key staff that could have been lost during this pandemic. It will help you to still manage your company and not to close the company. So that's all about the fund. But I want to talk a little bit about our portion of the support in the matching fund. That's the name we call it. If we are going to secure any loan from any bank, it goes through a process. And the process is sometimes, UMB, we've made it quite simple, but there are some of the things that you need to know if you need a loan from any bank, including UMB. We will look at the business, what business you are doing, the business operation, who is behind it, whether you are with this bank or you're a new person, the recent development background of Wankasa, the person who is asking for the money. And then we need to also find out why you are asking for this money. So when you need the money from any bank, we will ask you to justify why you need 1 cedi or 2 cedis. Your justification should come with things that you use in explaining your point. In case you need money to probably even pay salaries, you have to show proof that you have been badly hit by something and then you need money to pay salaries. Also, we also would like to know your credit history, whether when you took money from Bank A or Bank B, you paid. If you are somebody who took money from Bank A and you never paid, you cannot be part. And then no bank will give you money. If you take money from another bank, you don't pay, and then you run away to another bank, no bank will give you. We'll do a credit referencing and know that indeed you picked money from EcoBank or any other bank and you didn't pay and you've run to us. We will also not give you. We'll also check your business life cycle, how your business is. We also would like to know your turnover. Turnover is basically your sales, how much you sell every day, every month, every year. So we'll start from daily, it will go to weekly, it will go to monthly, and then we will add up to yearly. And then we also would like to know your key competitors, which people are selling the same thing, what are they going through, whether your case is different or you have other people around you. We also would like to know your key success story. What is giving you, do you have, is your company's at a place that people see it? Is your company very visible? What are the key success factors of your company? Do you have a strong brand? Do you have a very good marketing team? Do you have promotional strategies? Do you have other things that helps you in terms of distribution network and all that? Then we also would like to know the risk areas in your company, the operating cycle, seasonality, suppliers, or target market, business cycles, operational challenges that you are going through. Most especially, we are in the era of COVID. So we'd like to know the effect of COVID on your business. So if you are coming to a bank for any loan that will help you, kindly know that we'll ask you all this. So as you come, you have to be prepared with all your answers. You don't need to do anything voluminous or anything complicated. It's just talk. As we talk to you, we'll be able to sieve out all this as answers to all the questions I have requested for. We also would like to know which people are behind the company. The directors of the company, the management team, do they really have the wherewithal to operate that company? Have they done it before? How long have they been in business? We also would like to know whether you've been able to do audited financials, or even if you don't have at all. I know one of the issues with SME is audited financial statement. They don't. We don't have a problem if you don't have. We will help you, mentor you, give you guidance so that at least after a year or two, you will also start preparing audited financials. But at least for now, we'll guide you to also even do a management account, which is something, you put something small by giving you financial education, bookkeeping and all that, that will sustain you. These are other trainings that we do at our SME centers that I mentioned. We have 3 SME centers, one in Kaswa, one in Medina, and then one in Kumasi. Normally in a year, we roll out training every quarter. Unfortunately, because of the COVID, we haven't been able to roll out. But we are thinking of doing something like this, a webinar or anything that will still give education to the SMEs. I will stop here and then see if anybody has questions. But I have more time to answer your questions. Thank you, Mr. Saki.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Thank you for such comprehensive presentation on what UMB is doing and the offer that you have. There are a few questions to start with. The first question is saying that we talked about the 3% and the 12%. Somebody wants to know, how do I end up? How do I know I'm on 3%? How do I know I'm ending up on 12%?
Okay. There's a qualifying criteria that NBSSI has put in place. One is employment, one is turnover, and other things. So they have an algorithm behind the application that we are filling. And then the algorithm will be able to show whether you qualify for 1 CD or 2 CDs. So for example, if NBSI's own system, you applied for 50,000, but the system says no, per our guidelines, you qualify for only 10,000. Then the matching fund, the financial institutions that are participating, when we also look at the financials, we know that indeed you qualify for 40,000, not 10,000. But because the NBSSI money, they have to share it for everybody to receive some. They can't give you a loan, so there are guidelines. So the bank, participatory bank, will decide to add the 40,000 to that 10,000 that NBSSI has been able to give you. So because the 40,000 is coming from the bank, and the banks, our cost of fund is very high. In fact, as we speak, even when another bank borrow from you, we call it interbank placement, and even Bank of Ghana, prime rate and all others, it's about 14%, 13.5. So if we decide that we are charging interest rate of 12%, then it means that it's a national service we are doing. Because as it stands, even if I'm going to use my money from the bank to buy treasury bill, which is risk-free, which I will get the money, treasury bill is about 13% and more. So I will even be better off going to use the bank money to buy treasury bill. At least we will earn more than the 12.5. So we want the SME people to know that this is really a national service. Because ordinarily, if you come to us for a loan, we will charge you about 25%.
Okay. I would crave your indulgence to repeat this explanation in three for me. Please.
Okay, Marty.
As much as possible. Say it to me, Kakra. I think it's something that people have been talking about. Yes.
Me say, NBSI scan 600 million. And a banks and also Eddie Woman Casa Womudre ni bi. And yet a bank sika. 400 million ebeka. Inti NBSSI sika no 600. Mo si chema Ghana phone na enso yeso. Inti ebia na wa apply say upe 100 million. Titi sika no 100 million. That is 10,000. Na NBSSI the criteria be ato ho. Ebia na 10,000 na wo hwehwe no. Enka wo de business no ye share business na ni so a wo qualify. I will see a tumbi sasi kanimam. And so NBSSI for criteria no mudi ama no mpese omo obi e bininti no. Wo wo de no ye see bia e betimi amount 20 million instead of 100 million. E betimi amount 2,000 Ghana cedis instead of 10,000, which inti bank no so sure ampa osimesi o store ye so pa o ton ade o turnover na ye inti NBSSI sika ne se e be ma 20 million na ye de ye betimi de bi account ho inti bi na ye de account ho na ye yankasa ye sika inti yenso ye sika ne de ne board esan se won se se ya no wo ba bank se o ba beji sika ye jo be 25% esan se cost of fund na nkasa ne boy ye de se wo usika da bank na utumi ka se ye ento treasury bill ma a ye 13% me ne wo ka se inti se usika da bank na se be wo 13% a e wo se me so me de ma obi a me di bi ka ho na metumi etua me ho cost etumi etua me rent ene me staff inti we no NBSSI for ne ye kasa ye ne se enye hwe ye national service na ye nyina ye inti ye sika ne ye de be ka ho no ye nje mo te se bia 25% na ordinarily uko bank se uko ji loan na ye bejo no esika ya ye kan nyina nsi ho no ye per annum is for 12 months enya bosomi bia inti ye per annum inti ye se ye bejo 12.5 e chere se bosomi bia na ye bejo bia 1% e wo sika no ho inti ye de na ye de aka ho no kakra na ye de aka NBSSI de no ho ama wo ye de na bewo interest 12.5 na NBSSI de no awo interest 3%. Esanse NBSSI de no entumi anson ekomodo nso ema we duane ne kakra entumi amen ti wo de no so na me wie na we nyina no so no ye wo ho kwan se ye be ni nyina within 2 weeks MBS I say within 2 weeks no yentumi this basic sika no ti say nedue wo apply ya ye expect say after 2 weeks no wo be hu say ye disika na ma ye mfa ma so e be ma waso ati say ye mfa ma. I hope I've explained it well.
Yes, why are they?
The tree is not easy.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Someone is asking that if he's a new entrant and he's done about 8 months and he has, under these circumstances, he has no audited statements to show, but he's able to give you 12 months annual turnover, how would this business be assessed?
Why 8 months? How was he able to get 12 months annual turnover?
Okay. Maybe, yeah.
Why magic in the okay.
Assuming.
Okay, you see, these are the things that the bank will ask. It's not say you can't give what you don't have. If the business has been in operation for 8 months, there is no way you can get annual turnover of 12 months. It is not possible. So probably the person will have to come again. But let me say that, for example, if you've been there for 8 months and you have 8 months annual turnover, obviously your turnover should correspond to the number of months that you have been in existence. So you have 12 months. We will use that. We will use the 8 month to 8 month turnover to assess you. We remember this is a COVID alleviation. So I was so happy that the government said that you should have been in existence for more than 6 months. So when you bring the turnover, we would like to see whether from September, October, November, December, January, February, March, your sales from those months should be higher than the sales from COVID period. That is what would let us know that indeed you were badly affected by COVID. There are instances where some people they were not badly affected. They rather reap. For example, if you were selling banching, we're all eating fufu every day. So you can't come and say that under the COVID, you have been badly impacted. Your turnover will not show. So when you are giving us the turnover, we expect to see that from COVID period, which is March till now, we will see a decline in the turnover. And if you lie to, we will see. There are a whole lot of things, because it's a job that we do every time. So there are a whole lot of things we will use to get the information even unknown to you. When we talk to you, we are able to get the information from you. Because some of the things, it happens, so you can't even lie about it. So when you come to, that is why they are saying that the bank should do an enhanced due diligence for 2 weeks. So the enhanced due diligence that we will do, all these things will be able to come up. So if you go on the system, for example, and you go and press that my turnover is $1 million, and the system picks, because of that, the system is able to give you 100,000, is able to allocate 100,000 for you, but we haven't given you. We will go and do the enhanced due diligence and find out that indeed your turnover is not 1 million, but is rather 50,000. You have lied. So when we go on the system, we should try as much as possible to speak the truth. Speak the truth. If you need more, the bank will look at it and add more. So let's try and speak the truth. There's tendency that people are saying, if you say big turnover, they will give you big money. If you say you have plenty people that you have employed, they also give you the money. Remember, if you are showing that you are employing 10 people, then you should have been paying them SNIT, IRS, and all that. So we should bear in mind. You have to show that if you've put there that I have 12 people that depend on me and I pay them pay, the IRS will ask you, where is the IRS, their contribution? And then SNIT will also come and ask you, where is the SNIT contribution? So let's just be honest. If you know that you are the sole person in your business, just say so. If you have only one person, just say so. And then take what will benefit you. Remember, your sister out there also needs part of the money. So don't go and say you need all the 600 million to your house. What will happen to the rest of the people?
I think, Charlotte, the fellow corrected the question. So it's as rightly as you said. She said she's been in operation for 8 months, and so she cannot provide for 12 months. But I think the answer was perfect. You answered it rightly, that once you have the document, you'll be able to go. Somebody wants a little clarification. saying that it means that the quantum of money amount you ask for determines whether you get your 5% repayment or the 12% repayment. Is that right?
Well,
okay.
Yes and no. Number one,
okay. So, yes.
If you request for whatever amount, 50,000,
okay.
there's a ceiling, but I'm not supposed to share the ceiling because Madame Kosi herself didn't speak about ceiling. So who am I to talk about ceiling? The system has a ceiling. The system has a ceiling amount, which I can't share. Because Ghana, when you share ceiling, everybody will go for the highest amount and people will not get. So you tell us what you need. Tell the system in exactly your needs. Because I have even people calling me, asking me, so how much should I say I need? Meaning that you yourself, you don't even know what you need. So please, when you go into the system, just mention exactly what you need. That's it. If you say you need 50,000, and you've provided all the information. Remember, I gave you there are three employment things: 1 to 5, 6 to something, and 29 to something, and all that.
Yes.
The money, whether quantum or small or whatever they will give you, depends on employment and depends on your turnover. So, for example, if you've employed only yourself or you've employed 1 to 5, 1 to 5 has a ceiling. So you are within that ceiling. If you've employed 99, it also has a ceiling. So you're also within that ceiling. For example, if MBSSI money, the ceiling is 1 million Ghana cedis, let me say so, and you need 2 million Ghana cedis, the bank will look at it and say that, okay, you really deserve 2 million Ghana cedis, so we'll give you. So the bank will give you, the MBSSI will give you the 1 million, and the bank will also add the 1 million. But when you come, we will explain. So if you think that all you need is the MBSSI money of the 3%, we will not even force you. In fact, we even prefer that everybody is swimming within the 3% because that is what will help people. And we expect that you take small amount that will alleviate some issues immediately, not something that is going to scale you up to another level. So anything small will help you. So if I were you, I would swim within whatever the MBSSI money will give me, so that you don't need to come and pay 12.5%. You can just do the 3% and you are good to go. So if you need 50,000 and the system says I'll give you 20,000, just accept the 20,000 and move on.
Charlotte, somebody wants to know that, assuming he or she applies and gets the approval, would UMB be willing to support him or her develop a repayment plan?
Sure. In fact, that is why we are supposed to do enhanced due diligence, and we are supposed to know our clients, our customer, because we have to follow you and make sure you pay. So from day one, we will help you do something like Susu or something that will help you that the repayment will be coming small, so that when the repayment starts trickling in, you don't need to sweat. So we'll help you to develop it. Why not?
Okay. So
we will instill a savings culture in you.
Oh, okay. That if he's a bank, he's a client of another bank, assuming ADB or whatever bank, would he or she have to go through ADB or would have to come to UMB?
Wonderful. You know, we have 23 banks also in Ghana. There's only 7 banks that are participating. So I will even say 6 banks, including the rural banks. So the rural banks is being represented by the ARP Apex. So when you add all of us, we are only 7. And these are only Ghanaian banks that are participating. So for example, if your bank is Stanchart, Barclays, EcoBank, or any of the foreign banks that we have, meaning your bank is not participating, it doesn't mean that we will not help you. In fact, that is where we all come in. That take us as your preferred bank. When you are failing, they will ask you of your bank and your bank number, your bank account and your bank number. So that's fine. Your bank name and the bank account. So you do that by putting the EcoBank or Stanchart or any account that you have, you put there. When you finish, it also asks you your preferred bank. So preferred bank, whether you have an account here or not, just prefer us. We'll open accounts for you and then we'll start. So when you click preferred bank as UMB, MBSSI will bring all of you to us for us to give you the loan. Thank you.
Okay. All right, there's one more. Maybe I take this to somebody saying that in your exam. Plenty. that in your example, you mentioned like cassava processors or cassava exporters. So they would want to know whether there's they will receive extra due diligence, or they may have to pay something extra because they are asking, because in the past they've also failed, they've had some of these challenges in terms of high cost of raw materials and delays in supply, etc., also affecting their businesses.
Okay, they don't need to pay anybody extra. You know, the entire thing is to alleviate a problem. So why do we even burden you with payments of plenty stuff? You don't need to pay anybody. We are all doing a national service and we have pledged to support. That is why we are all Ghanaian banks and we are trying to support. So, and then the enhanced due diligence, we know this is agri, this is cassava. We understand that cycle. Even if we don't understand, we will ask you to make us understand. Go down and then explain to us. We will understand the cycle and be able to even give you a proper repayment plan that will help you to be able to pay. We have up to a maximum of 1 year to start paying. So if your cycle starts in 6 months' time, we'll probably give you up to 7 months to start paying. If your cycle starts 3 months, we'll give you 4 months, 1 month after the cycle to even start repaying. So that's where the transaction dynamics comes. We'll ask you questions, you will answer. Based on your answers, we'll craft something for you. For example, if you're a private school, now we don't even know when the schools will be open. There's no way we are going to ask you that pay come in September.
Some background noise from one notice.
I hope you're okay now. Okay, so
yes,
for example, if you're a private school, we don't even know when the schools will be open for you to even get the school fees. The online thing that people are doing, money is not coming. All of us are parents and we understand that monies are not coming as people walk to school and go and pay school fees. So we'll give you a repayment plan that will benefit you. If you're a private school, for instance, I think that's where even the 1 year moratorium comes in. Because when we reopen school, you need to even do a whole lot of things. You have teachers' fees that you haven't paid for a while. You have a whole lot of expenditure that you have not been able to pay. So we'd like you to recoup those things before you even start paying the debt. So we would tailor-made the repayment to suit your need.
Okay. Well, somebody is saying, if I get it, I'm reading it as I see it. I wanted to paraphrase. But okay, if I paraphrase, all he's asking that he was informed that you have to pay 40% matching grant as a matching grant. So he's deposited about 10,000 into your rural bank account. And so in this case, is his application, he's ready. So what would be the next steps for such a person?
Okay, I'm surprised the rural banks are saying that you should, I'm sure the communication hasn't come out very well. So people are misconstruing a lot of things. The merchant fund is a bank thing. It has nothing to do with the customer.
Okay.
But if you are depositing something as a collateral against the merchant fund, that is fine. Because like I said, our part of the money that the bank will give you, you need to prove that you can pay. You need to give us collateral because we'll use the bank's own credit policy to administer that fund. So in that instance, we'll even ask of collateral and all that. So if the rural bank decided that the collateral they need is probably a cashback, I am sure, I can't talk for that rural bank, but I feel that probably is a cashback collateral they're asking for their merchant fund. But I was expecting that the person through the application for the exercise to say that I can give you 20 cedis, and you can also say that no, I want 30 cedis. Then the bank can add the 10 cedis. Right now, you cannot preempt it because you don't even know the ceiling. So how would you know whether the government money can support you or you will need more? In my own view, go through the system. Let them call you and say that you requested for 20,000. We can only give you 15,000. So the bank will support you with the extra 5,000. Then we'll move from there.
Okay. I think comprehensively, Charlotte, you've dealt with all the questions that have popped up today. Maybe I give you a minute or two to wrap up. Tell us what UMB offers, you already did in your initial submission, but if you can wrap up also in the local language for us to know all that you've said for this support, this matching support that you've given and then for now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Saki. Me dinkai ka say UMB indigenous banker atnas be 48 years ni na ade ba ko a esi eni so ne say ebeboa SME for ema omo scale up omo fi bebia omo wono akọ omo anim ye pese SME ni bia wa start say ofudua no ye be pia ne ma ne du soro esanse ne ofudua pa no ne ye pia ne ma ne kosoro nti ebeboa SME ni bia ma na kosoro ene me kan so say yen so ye banker abefu nimdie a ye fe ne diketai yen yedimu yekutemutwe yedimu tintiban pa say ye wo app a ye fe ne UMB speed up no utumi move wo fan efi wo account mu e de call wo momo any of whether say MTN or Vodafone or deben na wo utumi de fi mu ko na asan de fi e ho no so mobile phone account no so etumi so de bank account ni mu utumi so di tia bills ni na wo hwehwe wo wiase a wo pe yesanso wo internet banking na bia obetimi atena wo office na wetua wo foka momo na kasanso phone ni ekuta we ya etumi ye niama bebre bia hwehwe wo bank bia ebetimi ayama inti na yesanso wo 36 branches no ye wo across Ghana na na yesan wo SME centers baby a yasheda dedicated say ye dey hwe edwedifo a small and medium enterprises ye from SME center ho no wudu ha ubenya your whole FNSM I say classroom ni na wo ho ubetimi abetina ha baby sa questions ye workshops in yamaniama emma SME no so that mo betimi scale up if we bia mo on akomanim bibi che wadwene a bowura any of the SME centers ba ko Ashtown wudu abehu SME center ena ba ko nso ewo ye friend is Madina Hollywood in Chenwa Kennedy Japan radio station in Chenwa ena ba ko nso wo kaso a eno nso se wo ko kaso a ewo benkum so se bia wo fitakrade na e bankran bia ewo ni mfaso ansa na wo bedu FNSN overhead na ewo ho na ewo ho overhead na eko obuo mu se ho no ewo ho Obom junction yes overhead no to tran kakra bia obehu UMB se ewo kwan no ho a ewo takrade kwan no ho a enti ye 36 branches na ye 3 SME centers na make me din kan 2 years SME ni bia na bibi chire wadwen wo hia financial education bia na se bibia obetimi ewura centers ni na ko hwe center manager udu audio wo sim person manager any problem hwe manager enka wasem fi security man ko manager ho na ne nko kasa obeboa achirechire wo niama obetimi aye na wako w'anim ebia woye no ye cosmetic production and as a bibia so we here if there's a food and drugs board to funny standard board in yamaniama nyina wo certificate and sana we to me scale up into bomodiana register wo ho na yesan so ye banka ye tumi ni aban na didwa ache omo starting so omo ye 1D 1F no ye de ho ekofam aban na ye so ya ma sika ebro me who said a main can about more than 150 million Ghana cedis me who can't it the enemy enti yamasika pa pudu kese pa e dey supported 1D 1F for no enti ye wonkofo bebre nsu a wo mo ha eye a 1D 1F no eno na so kwaji letter efi ministry say wo dey propose abema wo say wo pe say wo share 1D 1F no wo ba e beboa en na se bia enye no so na se won a wo SME ni bi me mfa na se sike ya ye ka ho asemi se wentumi wo de wo koye na anyeyi ya ma wo ho bibia nsi wutri nye wo fie din sisika no ya mfrɛ no problem wo de bra ura FNSN UMB bank bia obviously bi ne be apply a enkosi aga ene de normal enti yemfa ne say be 10% of the people bia na we one of them who apply so one tinka na de na twem bra ye be boa wo ema wenyi sika now they are supporting business na ye wa hase ye be boa midin kan ka say wo ye SME adwuma na de wo behia kese pa ne say ye pese hu say adwuma na wo ye no wote ase why an imprint do saying we di 1 year we di 2 years we di 6 months why ye hu say de na ekọ me fa ne say bia tro untumi mbe kan chen say wo pese bia me hia sika bia boutique ana me hia sika akoye tro wo hia sika akoye tro no we di mate da na ti be bisa yenyim bia no why a plan ke bi da na wate ase anye ye kra be hu baby a police for gyina gyina na wa drebo wo mu enti se adwuma na wo ye ne pese eti ase se wote ase pa ansa na beba bank na wo se wankasa wo nimde won nsem na obeka ne nyina wenye nsem a obi aka akyew wo se e flow efi wo mu ne eba normal sense ya de a wo ye nti me fa ne se wotu ebi a wo ye alatasamuna ana se bibia ye de ye ho sesi de share butter niama bebre aba nkofo ye ana se bia wo ye lipstick kra ma de kan ano ana bibia e be bisa onim de okusua a wo hu ne we de be na wo ye wo start se wo ton wo ne wo nkofo a wo moto wo nkofo otuma wo mo mutu no wo mutu ya wo ka edwuma na wo ye no ensuo ta affecte ewia ba affecte ewiomba affecte ye be bisa wo sa ne ma ne nyina na yetumi aboa se bia ensuo ta affecte ye be ma wo hu nimdi a che se obetumi aso eno ano eno che se ensuo atontimi nkoda se me asthmatic patient da bi e wo se ensuo ta wo gusu ye business nti ye be sure de obetumi aya obetumi aye sa business ensuo to ewia bo e de bembo nti bank ne de se wo hia loan no wo de bra na ne ye be kasa me a make kasa wo pese wo hu me nso a me wo head office UMB head office branch ho ye wo Marina Mall echi ho anase Marriott Hotel next udu anase any airport ana Ministry of Interior Ministry of Foreign Affairs ebo enimu Foreign Affairs right ye wo left ye ne bo enimu airport enclaves ye nti se bia udu obisa airport shell Canada house Marina Mall obi hu UMB ewo Marina Mall nechi ha nti se tofa no de me san so kan ne say e was say wo ba beje bank ska apart from say we ye adwuma no e was say obi a wadwuma no why for more than 6 months e was say what na say na we so ye bank nti bank de e pese e hu say why ye adwuma no for more than 2 years yen sheda am fa startup nti se startup dia e was say a different criteria and ye bo modern abom pa ye na aban die en fa wmfam eno de we startup no why 8 months na ye beboa because eno ho nsem no e different but a normal banking there was so wetumi aye adwuma ne be 2 years ansa na yetumi aboa na wo ho wa register na yenim say ye wo na what number I'll betimi be account wo photo so betwa photo picture na yetumi aboa interest rate no onyetin fofofo nti interest rate nso de ne bonye de fofofo enti ne metini aka ne se wo hia loan na me kanfo UMB mam ye ne wa ha yete emasie yete SME yase inulem ye ha wo bebre unya audited account no problem ye beji wa bambaba na yetumi aboa na o business no efi bebi ewo netumi akonanim medamas.
Charlotte, thank you so much for such a comprehensive presentation and discussion, taking time to answer all our questions. There are 2 questions, very brief. Obi say, during the application process, he did not select any preferred bank. So in this case, what can he do?
No problem, it's fine. MBSSI, in their own wisdom, will take you to one of the 7 banks.
Okay. And then maybe I think you are getting a potential client. Somebody is asking how much money can he or she deposit to qualify as a prestige customer of UMB?
Yay! Please come. That's all.
All right. So whoever wrote that question, the answer is please come. They don't come.
Let me talk more about the prestige, please.
1 minute.
The prestige is yes, 1 minute. 1 second. The prestige, there are a whole lot of things about it. When you come, you have tea, coffee. In fact, we'll do your 10th floor where you will love it. Brana be meeting free of charge. If you have interview, I say be no staff when you interview baby and now person francophobia. Who needs space? Just tell us. Come, we'll give it to you free of charge. We'll even arrange lunch, coffee, and everything for you. Wow. But the lunch, they arrange a bit yaka. Then coffee they free.
And then we customer.
Yes, please come. You don't need plenty money. You just need to deposit. You just need to deposit 50,000 Ghana cedis.
All right.
In deposit. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you very much, Charlotte, for joining us today to talk about.
If they need my number, can I give?
Please, you can give.
My number is 024 314 7920. 024 314 7920. 024-314-7920. Please come. We will pamper you until you feel pampered.
All right. Thank you very much for such presentation. We are blessed to have you. Like I said today, it's been nice having two great women. And I said we've scored a point today on the SDG 5, empowering women. We've brought big women to talk about their products and what they are doing to help Mother Ghana. And I think most of our participants today have also been women as the SME sector. So we thank you so much. And like Charlotte have indicated, please visit UMB, call her. Her number is in the chat, in the Q&A. Find it, call her. She's director of SME. Visit any of their SME centers, and then they will give you all the necessary support. On this note, on behalf of the WACOMP team, Charlotte, we want to thank you so much. On behalf of my program manager, myself, and all my other colleagues, say thank you so much. And then we hope we will link up. Beyond, we'll walk in with some of our beneficiaries, our private sector actors will visit you, and then we'll see what we can do in financial literacy, in coaching, in bookkeeping, everything to help the SME members. So on this note, and for all members who join us today, we say a very big thank you for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And this has been WACOMP, and I'm the Chief Technical Advisor, Charles Saki, on behalf of my other colleagues, Joseph for the cassava, our cassava expert, Na Ache for cosmetics and personal care products, Frank for fruits and mangoes and pineapple. So Charlotte, I think you would have to get in touch with us. Our women produce brilliant products, cosmetic and personal care products. You would stop buying anything imported, and you use this one, and you glow in your natural color. So we also thank all members who join us, and we're looking forward that we'll meet again. In the coming weeks, we have a broadcast list, and we'll send the list of our next webinar to everybody. On this note, on behalf of the whole team, we say thank you so much. Stay safe, enjoy this weekend, and hopefully we will stay in touch. Please follow us on on all our social media handles, WACOMP Facebook, WACOMP LinkedIn, WACOMP Instagram, and visit our website. The recordings, there were questions about the recordings. The recordings will be on our website. It will be on the WACOMP website /training/webinars. If you visit there, you'll find all the webinars we've done, and all the videos will be there. I mean, in a few hours, it will be uploaded there. You can visit, listen in, and then you also follow the process through. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful coming your way this week with two interesting webinars on the export readiness, accessing new markets, and today, Enidaso and Adom loans, so that we move our sector forward. Thank you so much. Stay safe, and we meet again. Bye-bye on behalf of the WACOMP team.